everyone, and welcome to this edition of Lingerie Lowdown, the podcast. I'm Jim Williams, your host, and we are going over the coming weeks, months, and hopefully years, take the opportunity to educate, enlighten, and entertain you as we do a deep dive each week into the multi-billion-dollar world that is one of the fastest growing areas of the fashion industry. We are, of course, talking about lingerie. We're talking about Lingerie Lowdown, the website, their YouTube channel. You've seen so many men and women who review the many types of items that they present on the website in possibly every category you might imagine, and some you may not even imagine exist. Well, today on the podcast, we are going to talk to one of the presenters. She is indeed a very talented young lady. She's from Canada. Her name is Hazel Roots. She's a very amazing entrepreneur. She's a great presenter. She is a fearless person when it comes to fashion and to living in general. She has many, many talents, and we're going to get to talk to her about each and every one of them today. Hazel Roots. And Hazel, as I said before, you have been amazingly fearless in your fashion. And how about in life in general? Have you always been a fearless person?
Yeah, honestly, I'm not sure where I get it from because my mom is the complete opposite, and she's constantly saying, "I don't know whose daughter you are," because I'm very out there, and I'm constantly enjoying being challenged and doing all of those kind of crazy things that most people would take time to reconsider before doing. But I find that a lot of fun. I love the adrenaline rush that I get when I'm doing weird and crazy things. So why not push the boundaries and explore that side of me?
No question. Let me ask you about this. How did you get involved with Lingerie Lowdown?
I kind of just lucked out. I had done a photo shoot locally with another one of our presenters, Bellatrix. And I guess that Lingerie Lowdown had been working pretty closely with her for a while. And they saw the photo shoot, and they contacted Bella, and they were just kind of like, "Hey, that girl with the pink hair that you did the photo shoot with, do you think she would be interested?" And Bella had contacted me, and I was absolutely thrilled at the opportunity. So I was like, "Yeah, let's do it." I was super excited about it.
So okay, cool. So now you're a Canadian lady, as is Bellatrix. You guys have done some collaborations recently. Is that a lot of fun when the three of you all get together?
It is a lot of fun. It's a little bit difficult to work all of our schedules around each other because we are all very busy women. But every time I've ever worked with Bella, like we've done photo shoots before. I've done body painting for some shoots that she's done on her own. And then of course we do the reviews together too. She actually just lives about like 5-10 minutes away from me. So it's starting to work out in our favor.
Talk about in the neighborhood. That's literally in the neighborhood.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, it makes it simple.
Yeah.
So from did you ever think that you would be a lingerie model?
Honestly, I feel like the title lingerie model is something that most women at one point or another in their life kind of like aspires to be or wishes, but never thinks it's a realistic outcome. So the fact that I've been given this opportunity it's still kind of mind-blowing to me some days, where I don't really label myself as a lingerie model, but then, I mean, I look at it from a third-party perspective, and it's like, oh, I mean, I guess I kind of am. But no, completely unexpected.
Well, it's a surreal situation, and perhaps in fairness, I should have said that you are a model who also gets involved in the lingerie aspect of it. So that might have been a fairer way of putting it. So that's on my bad in that regard. But because you do like to model many different things.
I do. And to be fair, I never even really pictured myself as a model either. my go-to when it comes to photography is actually behind the scenes. I'm a lot more comfortable being behind the stage doing special effects, makeup, and body painting. But for me, what had happened was I was constantly looking for ways to get my artwork out there. And I had been in contact with some local photographer friends, and we continuously had made plans to go forward with photo shoot concepts. And unfortunately, we would regularly have models that would just cancel last second. So I actually ended up teaching myself how to model just so that I had a way of showing my artwork. So that was totally unexpected. I'm very, very shy in front of the camera and on stage, so I still have difficulties with it to this day, but I'm learning, so.
Well, you wouldn't know. You actually do quite well. So
thank you.
It's one of those things where you wouldn't know that you do. But I think any of us who are go in front of the camera at any point in time, you always have a little trepidation because you're always wondering, is this, do I really look good? Is it, we all have a little bit of vanity, I suppose, in this, and we always want to look at our best.
It really does take a level of vulnerability to open up in front of a camera, right? Because you're basically putting yourself in a position where you're very easily judged, and you kind of have to get over that and be okay with it, and just realize that there's always going to be people out there that are going to be viewing you a certain way, and that's okay.
Okay, let's talk a little bit about lingerie from your standpoint. Okay. Is it something that is this something that you've embraced from an early age, or is it something that you just as an adult began to play with?
Honestly, for me, I was always that little kid that was running around naked.
Okay.
I've always just been very comfortable in my own body and in my own skin. I regularly I spend time at the nude beach whenever I can in the summer, because we live in Canada, so it's a very short period of time that I can do that. But when it comes to the actual lingerie itself, I've never really been one that was super into lingerie, but I think that my comfortability with the nudity and the body painting, for example, kind of led me to be more decorative with my nudity, right? So when I wear lingerie, it's more of a way of kind of decorating my nude body so that it shows, I don't know.
It's a very unique perspective, a very unique perspective.
Yeah.
Let me ask you about this. Body painting. I mean, that's an incredible talent and quite a skill. How long have you been doing that?
Oh boy. What year is it? How old am I?
2019 now, yes.
Yeah, 2019 now. I keep messing that up still. I keep saying it's 2018, but there was actually a review that we did where I said it was 2018 by accident. I have been doing it, I want to say 7 or 8 years now I've been doing it.
Wow.
So it's been quite a while, yeah.
It's quite a unique art form. How did you get started?
Honestly, I went to a Winnipeg zombie walk. We used to have a local zombie walk where there'd be like a couple hundred of people, and it would be during October, and everyone would just dress up like zombies and roam around on the streets acting like crazy people. And I'm like, sweet, that sounds right up my alley. So I went with some friends and I did our makeup, and that's when I really realized that it was something I enjoyed doing. So I kind of just started doing it as a hobby, and then it grew and it grew. And I've never been one who's good at doing anything lightly. If I find something that I genuinely enjoy doing, I kind of take it and I dive headfirst into it, and I do everything that I can with it. So it went from just doing my friend's makeup from a Winnipeg zombie walk to hosting or helping host body paint events, and doing a pretty large makeup position with a local production that we run now. So
wow,
it's definitely grown. Yeah.
What's the most challenging body art painting that you've had to do?
There's been numerous occasions where we used to host body paint competitions or body paint events, and there's a time limit, right? So you've only got so much time to be able to cover an entire body with paint. And I'm friends with so many of the models that I always want to give people the opportunity to be covered in paint and put on stage, because it's a really exciting thing to participate in. So I made the mistake of biting off way more than I can chew, which I've gotten better at not doing now, but I used to do very often, because I used to think that I could do more than I actually am capable of. But now I know my limitations, and when it comes to body painting, you really need to know, based off of your experience, how long something is actually going to take. So there was a few occasions where I had told about like 3 or 4 different models that I'd be able to get them done, and then last hour of painting and I've only finished maybe like 1.5 models. So that was definitely the most difficult part about body painting, is that I don't have an airbrush machine, so I do everything by hand. So it really does. Yeah, it takes a lot of time, but I mean, the amount of detailing you're able to get in when you're doing it by hand is it's different than airbrushing. I don't want to say that it's comparable, because it's definitely different, but I enjoy it.
Have you always been artistic?
Yes, always. Since I was a kid, I was constantly doodling all over the place. My mom actually used to ban Sharpies from the house because I would be drawing all over my skin with Sharpies all the time.
Right. So there you go. Well, I guess now you're allowed to have your own Sharpie since you live on your own.
I am.
Yes.
My thing's whiteboard markers now, though.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
You've gone
all
upscale.
My mirrors and my windows, everything is just covered in whiteboard markers.
Oh my goodness. Well, I'll tell you what. Yeah. We're going to take a break and return. We'll talk more with Hazel Roots about some Instagram questions right after this from BMW.
Life is about making decisions. At BMW I, we decided it was time to reinvent the car from the ground up, making sure we were open for truly innovative ideas. We decided that the car we wanted must be electric, and it should be made of extremely light and super strong carbon fiber. And finally, we decided to make it more intelligent and added our promise of incomparable driving pleasure. We made all these decisions to offer you a choice. The all-electric BMW i3.
Awesome.
Welcome back. Jim Williams here with Hazel Roots. We're talking about all things Hazel, which is always a lot of fun. And that's you still. Absolutely. All right. We got some Instagram questions, if you don't mind.
Yeah, for sure.
Let's see. All right. Here we go. Okay. How have you, let's see, what attracted you to body piercing?
Body piercings. Well, I mean, that kind of goes back to the fact that I've always enjoyed decorating my body, you know, whether it comes to body painting or lingerie or tattoos and piercings, right? I've always considered it a way of self-expression, right? So for me, it was just a way of decorating my image. And I actually got my first piercing. I think I was 15 years old when I got my first one. So I feel naked without them.
Okay, well, hey, it's yours to do what you wish, right?
Yes.
Your body, do what you wish with it. All right. Next up is, who has been your biggest influence in your life?
Oh, boy. You know, I've thought about this one on quite a few occasions now. And I'm not sure how I feel about the fact that nothing really pops into my mind right away. I think for me, I really do feel like I kind of raised myself in a lot of ways. I had a very difficult life growing up, and I remember being a teenager and trying to think of exactly that question. Who's my role model? Who do I look up to? Who do I want to be when I'm older? And nothing really came to mind, but I went from thinking that was a bad thing to realizing I needed to become the woman that I wanted to look up to. So now that I'm older, I am branching out and I am meeting a ton of inspiring people. And there are people that I look up to, but when it actually comes to a specific person that I idolize or I admire, I'm basically just working on becoming that person myself. I hope that doesn't sound conceited.
No, it's actually there have been a couple of philosophers, modern day as well as old, who said the most important thing you can do is be the best you.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably where you subscribed, eh? Is that fair enough?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So, what advice would you give someone who's trying to become a makeup artist?
Ooh, I thought you were going to say become a model. Someone that's trying to become
you can do both.
Let's start with a makeup artist.
Okay.
So, for becoming a makeup artist, I mean, as long as your heart is in it, you're gonna go places, right? So don't give up on yourself. It took me 4 years of doing free makeup work. Any chance that I could get, I was putting almost all of my expendable income into makeup products, whether it was like body painting effects or beauty. And from doing that, I gained so much experience that you don't really get if you go to school. It's that first-hand, behind-the-scenes. You really get a feel for what you're getting into, and once you're there, you can decide whether or not your heart is still in it, and it definitely shows. I think when it comes to makeup artistry in itself, if you're wanting to go somewhere with it, you got to keep at it. You got to be willing to collaborate with other artists. You got to be willing to think outside the box, to push limits, to not follow the rules, and basically just be willing to put yourself out there.
Okay, here's a very interesting one. Who is your favorite movie monster?
Oh, my favorite movie monster. Oh, that's such a hard one.
All right, go ahead.
I don't have a specific favorite movie monster, but I feel like I would be lying if I said anything other than just like zombies. I don't have a specific zombie that I think is better than any other zombies. I'm not going to be like zombieist, if that's a thing.
Don't want to disrespect the zombies, yes.
No, of course not. Never disrespect the zombies. I've got so much respect for the zombies. Yeah. But yeah, I'm completely in love with zombies. I love it. I think that the concept of a human kind of going rabid and just eating other people is pretty neat.
Okay.
Gruesome, but yeah.
A little on the gruesome side, no question about it. Okay, it's my turn to ask questions that come from the folks at L&L, of course. And that is quick A or B answers. Silk or nylon?
Okay. Silk.
Lace or floral?
Lace, usually.
Okay, brief or thong?
Thong, I kind of like it like between the two of them. Like not quite a thong, but not quite a brief.
Somewhere in the middle. Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, there's no wrong answer. I already said that. Bra or bralette?
Bra.
Padded knot?
Usually padded, but like not overly padded.
Okay. Swimsuit, bikini?
Swimsuit, sorry?
Or bikini?
Bikini.
Summer or winter?
Summer. I get enough winter.
Without naming any brands, what were some of the favorite things that you've reviewed and some of the least favorite things you've reviewed?
Okay. One of my favorite pieces, it was actually very conflicting for me. We did a favorites of 2018 video, me and the other two girls, and I had included it in my favorite, but it was a two-piece red lace. It was kind of like a halter top with like a high-waisted panty. And the bottoms were absolutely gorgeous. The bottoms were like probably one of my favorite pairs of lingerie bottoms that I've ever reviewed. I actually wore them in a photo shoot because I loved them so much. But the top, it was a very strange fit on my body. Mm-hmm. So when I think of any piece that I really disliked, excuse me, mm-hmm. It was never like, oh, it's too lacy, or oh, it's too strappy, or oh, it's too this, it's too that. It was always that the sizing for it was so ridiculously off from what any woman's body would, look attractive in, mm-hmm. that would be the thing that really made an item just not great in my books, was something that mm-hmm. was sized very strange. And then as for favorite piece, it would probably, I really like that kind of like vintage look. So mm-hmm. I really liked the high-waisted panties that I had reviewed. The body stockings are gorgeous, but I mm-hmm. feel like they're very trendy right now. Mm-hmm. So I think in the past 4 months or so, I've probably reviewed close to 10 bodysuits. And mm-hmm. although they're gorgeous and I love them on my body, I'm kind of mm-hmm. just over the trend.
Jump the shark, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, one final question. Give me 5 things that every woman should have in their lingerie collection.
Okay, 5 things in the lingerie collection.
Right.
Number 1, you're going to want to have that go-to sexy black piece of lingerie. I don't care if it's a baby doll, if it's a bodysuit, if it's a bra and panty set. I feel like every woman out there needs to have just like an all black favorite lingerie outfit. Number 2, I want to say something that's more kind of casual. So recently, sorry, I've got a bit of a cough today. Excuse me. I want to say something like kimono-ish, or like a silk robe.
Mm-hmm.
Those things they're so attractive on a woman's body, and they're also so ridiculously comfortable. So that's a go-to. 3, oh boy, let's say a good pair of thigh-high stockings.
Okay.
I love thigh-high stockings. I'm actually going to go and say a pair of a garter belt and thigh-high stockings.
Okay.
Personally, I think that there's such a wide variety of colors and different styles when it comes to thigh-highs that it's almost impossible for a woman to not find at least some type of thigh-high that they like.
Mm-hmm.
Is that 3 and 4 because I did the garter belt?
I'll give you the 4th.
Okay. And then let's say 5. What else? Lingerie.
So many things, so few to choose.
There
right?
are. I want to say like a killer push-up bra.
All right.
I am the type of woman that is very, I love cleavage. I absolutely love cleavage. I think if it's done in a tasteful way, it really does add a ton of sex appeal to a piece. So for me, I've got my 2 go-to push-up bras that really give me that oomph and make me feel a little bit more confident.
I'm not going to argue with you, Hazel, on that. If that's number 5. So there you go. Pretty good. All right. Tell you what, how can we follow you on social media?
Social media, you can follow my Instagram page. So I'm hazel.roots, I think. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I put pretty much all of my updates on there. So I do run a Facebook page, but that's a little bit more personal for me. Mm-hmm. And then I'm actually starting a YouTube channel, which right now is still in the works. So if you follow me on Instagram, I'll be posting regularly updates on my YouTube channel.
Outstanding. Well, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure chatting with you today. And we'll be back with more. Well. No, it's my pleasure. Thanks. We'll be back with more right after this from BMW.
Life is about making decisions. At BMW I, we decided it was time to reinvent the car from the ground up, making sure we were open for truly innovative ideas. we decided that the car we wanted must be electric. And it should be made of extremely light and super strong carbon fiber. And finally, we decided to make it more intelligent and added our promise of incomparable driving pleasure. We made all these decisions to offer you a choice. The all-electric BMW i3.
Hey everybody, welcome back to this edition of Lingerie Lowdown, the podcast. I'm Jim Williams. Now, if you have not yet subscribed to our podcast, first of all, shame on you. We certainly make it simple. You can go to the iTunes store because we are happy to be part of the Apple Podcast family. Google Play, where we are part of the Google Podcast family. Also, check us out on Spreaker, Stitcher, Spotify, as well as TuneIn, iHeartRadio, and, of course, YouTube, to name just a few. Now, again, all you have to do is search us. That's Lingerie Lowdown, the podcast. Hit the favorite button, and each week you'll get a brand new edition of the podcast sent to your phone, your tablet, or to both. So, as I said before, hit it, and every 2 weeks you'll get a new edition of Lingerie Lowdown, the podcast, sent directly to your phone or to your tablet or to both. So please do that today. We greatly would appreciate it. We would like to thank our presenter from Canada, the one and only Hazel Roots, for joining us today on the show. And we have a very special deal for you. That's right, a little possible gift here. Look, if you've not yet become part of our family at Lingerie Lowdown, the website, you're going to want to get over there. You can see plenty of items which Hazel has presented on the site, as well as all of our other men and women who do an outstanding job presenting every type of lingerie item you might imagine, and some you may not even know about, okay? It's on the cutting edge. It's fantastic. It's fun. It's a website that both men and women are going to enjoy, hands down. Plus, you get so many tips from our wonderful presenters. And again, we're giving it to you at a 10% discount if you sign up for our 6 or 12-month membership plans and use the coupon code PODHAZEL when you are prompted, and you're going to get 10% off our 6 or 12-month plan. So please go out and do that today. Sign up. You'll be glad you did. You'll learn more and get an opportunity to see Hazel and so many other wonderful presenters do an outstanding job of giving an honest representation of what they think, like or dislike, every possible item of lingerie, as I said, you can imagine. And again, once again, some you can't. It's a fun site with fun presenters, fun people. By all means, take advantage of our 10% discount coupon. And by the way, you can check it out in the show box for all the information that I just gave you, and you'll have it right there, easy to find. Okay? All right. So thank you very much for joining us on this edition. We'll see you in 2 weeks' time with another one of our fine presenters right here on Lingerie Lowdown, the podcast. We're going to have some fun. Please join us in 2 weeks' time as we take a look at the fastest growing area of fashion in the business. That's lingerie. Again, I'm Jim Williams for Hazel Roots, our guest today. Thanks for joining us. See you next time right here on Lingerie Lowdown, the podcast.
She likes fashion. She likes fashion. She likes
boys, parties, style, fame.